Hi, welcome to Radiant Light Yogi. Today we're going to do our workshop on standing poses. This is my model and beautiful husband, Brandon, and he's going to be helping me demonstrate to you how to do the right alignment of all of these poses. We're going to start talking about a little bit about the importance of the standing poses. In the series of BKS Iyengar is the same. The first series is mostly in just standing poses for exceptional Shavasana. This is because standing poses are the base for all of our other poses. It is important to find alignment in them from the beginning of your practice instead of being like moving back and forward through poses and some like flow classes without knowing the right alignment. The legs, they in the standing poses, they translate into the legs, for example, of arm balances or headstands or other poses. The same with it can be said the same thing about the core and about the position of the arms. So we practice this standing up first, and then we do it in more advanced poses. So we are gonna start with a little warm up. Start in downward facing dog on the top of your mat. Downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Walk your hands towards your feet. In Uttanasana, let the head drop. Bring your hands by the side of your heels. Palms, fingertips to the mat. There you go. Stretch the back and the back of your legs by pressing the kneecaps back. Align your hips with your ankles. In your next inhale, bring the hands higher than your knees into your thighs. Stretch your back forward. Stretch your back forward. Stretch your back forward. Forward. Bring your torso up to straighten your back. There you go. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bring the torso down. Hands to the floor. Walk your hands forward into Adha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale. Bring your torso forward to straighten up your legs. Into Chaturanga Dandasana. And your exhale, bend the elbows back. Bring the torso to the mat. Inhale, press your palms into the mat. Bring the torso up, look up. Bring the torso up into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Hips forward. There you go. Exhale. Bend the elbows back. Bring the chest back. Inhale, Adha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your right leg up. Exhale, take a big step. Put your right foot in between your hands. Inhale, bring the arms up, torso up. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Bring your right leg back. Adha Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog, hips back. Inhale, bring your left leg up. Big step with your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, torso up, arms up. Open the chest, release the shoulders back. Exhale, bring your hands by your foot. Bring your left foot back into Adha Mukha Svanasana. Walk your hands back to your feet. Uttanasana. Bring the feet together. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, bring the torso up. Right here. A little bit up. There you go. Arms up. Uttanasana, fierce pose. Exhale, bring yourself up. Straighten up your legs. On your next exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart, Samastiti. You can do 1 or 2 rounds of this vinyasa before class to warm up. And then we're going to start with the first pose. So the first asana is Tadasana, mountain pose. It looks like someone is just standing, but it has so many elements to it. We are go through all of the elements of Tadasana, but before we're gonna do an exercise with the feet to practice Padabandha. Padabandha is the lock of the feet, and it's important because in all standing poses we want to keep Padabandha, which means we're gonna lift the inner arches of our feet. We're gonna lock the feet. Now we're gonna bring the feet together. Bring your feet together, big toes touch, and you're gonna engage the legs by pressing the kneecaps back. That automatically will bring your core in. Am I right, Brandon? You feeling it? All right. Look down, and now bring all your toes up. And then little by little, take each toe down. Bring it up. As you bring the toes up, do you feel the inner arches lifting? Yeah. Okay. So now the challenge is going to be to bring the toes down without losing that. You're pressing the 4 corners of your feet, and you want to keep those inner arches lifting. It's like a grip that you're doing with your toes. Can you feel it? Yeah? Okay. So in Tadasana, that's our base. In the feet, we're going to, again, put your hands on your thighs and push them back. When you push them back, you're going to also bring the tailbone down. Now hug the midline with your core. Bring the inner ribs into each other. Bring the belly button towards the spine. Open your chest. Bring the shoulders up to the ears first and back. Open the chest. Bring the arms to your sides. Spread the fingers wide. Energy through the fingers. Now make your chin parallel to the floor. Feel a lift on the top of your head. And that is Tadasana. This pose is Uttanasana. Intense forward stretch. We're going to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, your arms up. And slowly you're going to start hinging from your hips, the torso forward. Think of bringing the heart in front of you rather than towards the floor. Exhale, hinge from the hips, come forward. Bring your hands by the side of your feet, fingertips on the mat. Stretch the back in your next inhale. Stretch the back forward. On your next exhale, keep the hands down on the mat. Keep the hands back on the mat. Right there. So you stretch as far as you can go. Careful with pinching the neck here. And your next exhale, bring the head towards the knees. Let the spine stretch down. And the energy of the legs from the heels up to the calves, your hamstrings, and the glutes. On your next inhale, bring your hands on top of higher than your knees. and stretch the back forward. This is Padahastasana. Try not to bend your knees. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hands down. On your next inhale, bring the arms up, torso up, head up. Hands in front of your heart. Hands together in front of your heart. Now, we're gonna do this pose with some props. Can you please look this sideways? Even though he's very flexible and he can touch the floor, I can see here that he starts micro-bending his knees and sticking, again, the hips back. So we're gonna try this with a couple of blocks to assist him. We're gonna put the blocks in front of you. And this time, inhale your arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Down, place your hands on the blocks. Inhale, stretch the back forward. Exhale, bring the head towards the knees. Let the head hang. Now try to bring your hips, there you go. Try to bring your hips on top of your heels. There you go. Stretch your knees. A lot of times they cue to micro bend the knees, but this is not really the traditional way that we do it at Iyengar. That's because when you're bending the knee, you're really not doing what the pose is supposed to be doing on the back of the leg, which is stretching the hamstrings. Inhale, bring your hands on top of your knees. Stretch the torso forward. This time, stretch your arms in front of you. Forward. Yeah. Stretch the arms. Align your neck with your back. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees. Open your arms to the side and slowly come back, standing to Tadasana. Tadasana. Thank you. That is Uttanasana, forward fold, and half a fold. It's not the right name, but I'm messing it up. Don't go anywhere. Padahastasana. That is Uttanasana and Adha Uttanasana. So forward fold and half forward fold. Thank you, Brandon. Okay. Yeah, you can look through the phone now. Padahastasana. Padahastasana. Standing Tadasana. This next pose is Padahastasana. Pada is foot, hasta is hand. So hand to foot pose. Asana is pose. Padahastasana. We start in Tadasana with all of the elements of it. And here, I've been giving Brandon the cue to bring the feet together because that is the full pose in Tadasana. But for some people, it will be a little bit easier to bring their feet hip-width distance apart. Would you want to try to do that? There you go. So you have the option. You don't always have to bring your feet together. That is the full pose. But you can also have your feet a little bit wider. Padahastasana. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, you're gonna hinge from the hip forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. And now you're gonna lift your toes and we're gonna bring the hand under your feet. So your toes are pressing your wrists. Inhale without moving your hands, lift the torso, stretch it out. Exhale, forward fold. Let the spine stretch down. Inhale and exhale. Lift the toes. Free the hands. Bring the fingertips to the mat. Inhale. Bring the arms up to the side. Hands to heart center. We can do a demonstration to the side here. So you can turn to the side. Stand in your Tadasana with all of the elements of it. Inhale, bring the arms up. On your next exhale, hinge from the hips forward. Bring the heart energy to the front. Lift the toes. Bring the hand under your feet, the hands under your feet. And then here you can even give yourself a little wrist massage with your toes. I like to do that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Stretch the back forward. Exhale. Head to knees. It's hard here to keep this alignment where the hips, you can see he's going back. You want to go forward. There you go. Inhale and exhale. Free the hands. Fingertips to the mat. On your next inhale, bring the hands higher than your knees into your thighs. Stretch the back forward. Adha Chandrasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands to heart center. And that is Padahastasana. Padahastasana. This pose is Utthita, Hasta, Padagusthasana. Utthita means extended. Hasta means hand. Padagustha is the big toe. Asana is asana. Can you say it with me? Utthita.
Uttitha.
Hasta.
Hasta.
Padagusthasana.
Padagusthasana.
There you go. It's better than his Spanish. No, it's not. It's a joke. All right. Let's start in Tadasana. Bring your feet together, big toes touching, inner heels lifting. Bring the kneecaps back. Elbow down. Hack the midline with your rib cage. Open your chest. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Down. Heart forward. And this time you're going to take your finger, your index finger and your middle finger, and you're going to grab your big toe. Inhale. Lift it. Torso up. Look forward. Exhale. Bend the elbows out so you can bring the torso closer to your knees. Relax the head. Exhale. Go down. Open the elbows. Oop. You okay? All right. Try to not micro bend the knees. Let the big toes go. Bring your fingertips to the mat. On your next inhale, come halfway up. Hasta. Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming all the way up. Hands to heart center. So here, even though Brandon can touch his toes, we're gonna do this with a belt. This is an option that you have for your students, or you have if you're practicing at home in your home practice. You can use a belt. If you don't have a belt, you can do a scarf or even a tie, anything that doesn't stretch. So let's move to the side, turn this way, and stand in Tadasana. What we're gonna do is when you go down, I'm gonna have the belt and we're gonna wrap it under your feet. Okay, so there you go. Inhale, stand in Tadasana. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge from the hip forward. Give your tailbone and your ribs in, hugging the midline. Uttanasana, forward fold. Take the belt and bring it under your toes. Right off the ball of your feet. There you go. Now we're going to stretch with the elbows coming out. And since you have the belt here, I want you to concentrate on bringing the knees back. Bring the knee back. And bring your hips to be aligned with your heels. Even if you don't go all the way down, come back a little bit and work on the position of the legs. Bring the torso back a little bit. Up. Yeah, there you go. And now move the kneecaps back and bring the hips to be aligned with your heels. There you go. Now relax the head. You want a straight line from your spine to the neck. Inhale, exhale. Bring your fingertips to the side of your feet. Inhale, come back halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to Samastiti with your hands in front of your heart. And that is Utthita, Hasta, Padagusthasana. There you go. Virabhadrasana. Virabhadrasana is tree pose. And I was reading just yesterday that Virabhadrasana is one of the original standing poses. There are statues that are very, very old that already show people doing Virabhadrasana. If you know a little bit about yoga, asanas are only one limb of the 8 limbs of yoga, all these poses. And at the beginning, they were practiced just to strengthen the muscles, so they can be sitting down, meditating for many, 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 many hours. And there were not a lot of standing poses until yoga kind of evolved. But Virabhadrasana was one of the original poses. So tree pose. We are going to stand in Tadasana, and I want you to deeply root your right leg into the mat, into the earth. Now, remember, we're going to try to keep Bandha on your right foot. So your inner arch on the right foot should be lifted, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So engage your right leg. With your left knee, start lifting your left knee. And then place your left foot wherever it falls, except for the knee, not on the knee, either higher or lower. Now, you can come back. I want to make a pause here and explain that. I used to do all the time this thing where you root and then you take your foot and you place it higher and then you keep it there. I learned recently that it is better to cue your students, or it is better for you at home if you're starting to practice yoga, to not cheat with this, right? Don't get the help of the hand. Work on your hip strength by bringing the foot wherever it falls. The only place that you shouldn't be pressing is on your kneecap just because it's a delicate part. So if you're starting and you can only go here, that's fine. If you want to keep your foot on the mat, that is also fine because this is a balancing pose and it requires practice before you do it. You can also do this pose against the wall or a chair to practice balance until you kind of like feel comfortable with it. So we're gonna stand in Tadasana, root the right leg down the mat. Inhale, lift your left knee up and place your left foot either on the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. There you go. Now, here, you want to have a double energy. Press your heel into the inner thigh and the inner thigh presses back. Bring the energy from the outer hip to the inner knee, from the outer knee to the glute. So what I want you to do is think of opening this hip back. There you go. The knee goes back. Breathe on your left leg. Feel the double action of the heel on the inner thigh. Press your hands together. If you feel comfortable on your next inhale, lift your arms up. Straighten up your arms. Palms facing each other. Energy through the fingers. Careful to not lift the shoulders, overlift the shoulders. There you go. Inhale. Look to a point that is not moving. Take a deep breath. Don't stop breathing. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Find your calm. Inhale. There you go. So to come out of the pose, we are here. You can try lifting the arms and stay here. A little bit more advanced is to lift the head, look up. You can kind of like play with your arms as if there are branches of the tree. But to come back, you're going to bring your hands in front of your heart. Bring the knee in front of you, the left knee, and bring the foot down. I'd often like for people to take a second in Tadasana before doing the other side. You can feel sometimes the energy of the left side versus the right side and see the difference. Always when we do any asana, we need to do the two sides. So let's do the other side. Root down towards your left leg this time, keeping Bandha. Stay in Tadasana. Inhale your right leg up, right knee up, and bring the heel to wherever it feels comfortable, either the ankle, the calf, your inner thigh. And yes, one side is different than the other. Bring your hands to heart center. Palms pressing, and the same energy coming to the midline, you have it in your legs. The heel presses the inner thigh, the thigh presses back. Now, feel the energy coming from the outer inner thigh to the inner knee, outer knee to the glute, opening up the knee back. If you feel comfortable, bring your arms up. Take a deep breath. Super fun. Super fun. Advanced, not advanced, but challenging is to close your eyes. Bring your hands back to heart center. Bring the knee back to center. Release your foot back down to the mat. Inhale and exhale. This is Vrikshasana tree pose. This pose is Uttanasana. Uttanasana, it's known sometimes as chair pose, but the right translation is fear pose. This pose requires a lot of energy in the body, and we want to feel that energy when we're doing it that matches with the name So fear pose. We're gonna stand in Tadasana. Stand in Tadasana. Feet together, inner arches of the feet lifted. Bring the knees back, shoulders back, energy through the fingers. Inhale, bring your arms up. In your exhale, you're gonna sit back as if you're sitting on a chair. Bending your knees back, open the chest. Now, come back up. And let's do this from the side so that I can give you an adjustment. Tadasana, inhale the arms up. Bring the shoulders back. Right here, shoulder blades back. There you go. Now, bend the knees and sit back. Now, this elbow, tuck it under. Bring your hips forward. Maybe come back a little bit. There you go. Sit back. There you go. Bring the energy, the knees together. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, exhale. Tuck your tailbone down, under. Rotate your hips forward. There you go. Open the chest. Look forward. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, press the heels, come back up. Bring the hands together in front of you, in front of your heart, Samastiti. That's Uttanasana. That is one of the common issues with Uttanasana. We start sitting back and we are bringing the hips back because we want to go lower. But what we want to do is, even if it's here, we want to keep that tailbone in. Tailbone in, hips rotating forward, right here, even if we don't go low. That is Uttanasana, fierce pose. This next pose is Natarajasana. Natarajasana is dancer's pose. This is a balancing pose and often mistaken on the alignment of the hips. So I'm going to show you the classic way to do it, the way the BKS Ian guard show us in the light on yoga. Please turn to your side. We're going to stand in Tadasana and start in Tadasana. Press your right leg, rooting down into the mat. Kick your left heel to the buttocks, bending the knee. Bring your right hand into your hip. In your next inhale, lift your right arm all to the sky and back to catch the inner side of your left foot. Inhale, lift the left arm. Go back, catching the outer side of your foot. Sorry, inner side. There you go. And start pressing the foot into the hand. Press, press, press. And you see how here the shoulder opens up. Inhale, right arm up. Inhale and exhale. You can stay here looking into something that doesn't move in front of you. Kick your leg into the foot into your hand without lifting the hip. Square your hips here. Just to show, this is what you see a lot of times. Start leaning forward. By leaning forward, you see how the left hip starts going up. Come back to center, release your foot, lift your arm up, left arm up, hands down to heart center. All right, give me a little bit of space. I'm going to show here. So this is what we were talking about. In the classical way, you stay right here and it's about pushing the foot into the hand to open the shoulder out. If I start leaning, you'll see how my left hip is starting to lift, and it's no longer square with my right hip. That's stepping into my flexibility rather than the alignment of the pose, which is working on the shoulder opening. Now the full pose, it's with both of the arms back, so the chest really opens up. This is probably not available for everybody at the beginning of the practice, even if you have a lot of years practicing like me, but there's a way to do it with your strap, and we're gonna show it with Brandon here. If you wanna do the other side. Root your left leg into the mat. Stay in Tadasana, shoulders back. Kick your right heel into the buttocks, and this time bring both arms back. Up. I'm gonna hold the strap here, and bend your elbows back. There you go. Grab the strap. Now try to bring the elbows towards the sky. There you go. Open the shoulder. Inhale and exhale. Kick the foot into the strap this time. Inhale and exhale. You can release the strap. Release the strap. Bring your foot down. And bring the hands down into heart center. That is a huge opening of the chest. And that's a really good way to practice. Eventually, you will be able to bring the arms all the way back and touch your feet. So, this is Garudasana. You can turn to the left, to the front. This is Natarajasana, dancer's pose. This next pose is Garudasana. Garudasana means eagle pose. Garudasana. To start, we're going to stand in Tadasana. You can bring your feet together, or you can bring the feet hip width distance apart. Root your right leg into the mat. Bring your left knee up, flexing your knee, and wrap your left leg over your right. Try to bring the inner thighs together, so you're wrapping it all the way. You can either do as Brian is doing here, bringing it to the floor, or you can bring the leg up. The full pose is wrapping the left foot around the right leg. I want you to bring your inner thighs together. Okay. Bring your arms in front of you, bending the elbows at 90 degrees. Bring the left arm under the right. And if possible, wrap around your arms to each other. Since Brandon has bigger biceps, he is going to open up here in this V shape. Bring the elbows up in front of your nose and bend the right knee. Sit back. Lift your left leg. There you go. And bring the tailbone down. Bring the tailbone down. There you go. Inhale and exhale. Look to a place that doesn't move. On your next inhale, unwrap your left leg. Bring it to the floor. Straighten up your legs. And let the left arm unwrap and bring your hands to heart center. So this pose, on the full expression of it, we root on the leg, we wrap around the leg, the opposite leg on this, and again, the full pose, your toes are wrapping behind your calf, but you don't have to do that if you have bigger thighs or you are not there yet. What we want to do here is to feel the energy in the midline and the pubis bone. The same arm of the leg that is wrapping goes under all the time. And the palms press together. Elbows to the nose, sit back. And we lift the arms, we unwrap the legs, Tadasana. We repeat on the other side, same action. Root through the base leg. We're gonna wrap around, we're gonna do it together. And you do your version, and I do my version. Wrap around, arms in front of you, 90 degrees, palms facing each other. This time the right leg is on top, so the right arm is gonna be under. And you stay here, and I clasp my hands together, my palms are pressing together. Lift the elbows, so there's a stretch in the back and the shoulders, and sit back. Inhale and exhale. And come up, unwrap your right leg, unwrap the arms, Tadasana. So modifications for this pose. For some people, balance is challenging. So wrap your leg. You can put a block, and they can rest their foot on the leg. They can rest their foot on the block. Okay. And the modifications for the arms. Again, if your arms don't wrap all the way and the palms touch, you can either leave your arms here, or you can press the back of the palms into each other. This is the Garudasana, eagle pose. Practice it from 2 to 3 breaths at the beginning, and then you can practice it for more breaths and stay longer in the pose. We are going to go into 4 poses. All of these poses are standing poses that are with the hips looking forward. In these poses, we don't open the hips. We want both hip bones to be square, looking into the same direction. Imagine that you have like 2 headlights of the car in your hips, and they want to light up the front of you. The poses that we're going to go into this series are Virabhadrasana I and III. Then we're going to go into Parivrtta, Ardha Chandrasana, which is revolved, half moon. And we're going to go into Parsvottanasana, which is the intense stretch. We're going to start on the top of the mat, Actually, let's start in the middle of the mat, looking forward. Bring your hands in front of your chest, with the fingers not touching, feet together. In your next inhale, you're gonna bend your knees, and your exhale, you're gonna jump out, or take a step with the right and the left. Inhale, exhale out. There you go. Relax your shoulders. Bring the hips, and start bringing the hips towards the right. Turn your hips to the right side, so both of your hips are looking into the wall. You can bring your arms down for now, into your hips. There you go. Now here, in this poses, the alignment is heel to heel. Sometimes we need to have a wider stand to have a little bit more balance, but it is important to know that the full expression of the pose, it is heel to heel alignment. Now, Brandon, you can see his hip here. His right hip is back, so you want to bring the hip forward, forward, forward. Turn the hips forward. There you go. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale. Start bending your left knee, tracking your big toe and your second toe, not letting the knee going more, not going farther than your toes. So you want the knee in a 90-degree angle. Go back a little bit. Back, there you go. Press the outer back heel into the mat. That is your anchor here. Look forward, and this is Warrior One. Again, you want the hips looking forward and the knee in a 90-degree angle. A lot of people go way further, or the chest, the upper body Then lean it forward. The hips are aligned with the shoulders. Shoulders stop on top of the hips. Very good. On your next inhale, you're gonna bring your back foot one step forward, little step. There you go. Bend. Bend your front knee still bent. On your next inhale, you're gonna start straightening up your leg, and at the same time, you're gonna lift your right leg back. You're gonna lean forward. No, come back to where you were. Okay, start hinging from the hips to lift your back leg up and straighten up your left leg. There you go. Now notice how his right hip goes up. Bring it back to square. Even if the back leg doesn't come up that much. Even if it's there. Bring the right hip down, down. There you go. And press my with your heel on my hand. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your hands down into the mat. Or come back up. Let's do this pose with the blocks. This is a modification that helps with balance. So instead of bringing your arms down, forward, you're gonna bring them down to the blocks, but we don't wanna dump the weight on the blocks. We want you to have fingertips on the blocks, okay? Inhaling, lifting the back leg, hinging from the hips, bring the arms down to the blocks. There you go. Now here he's a lot more stable. And notice how he wants to lift his leg high. But when he does that, do that again, lift the leg, the hips open. We want the right hip to be square to the left. So internally rotate your hip. There you go. That is warrior 3. Now, we are going to keep the hands on the blocks. And you're gonna bring your left arm up. And turn your torso towards the left, towards the back wall. There you go. Come back up into Tadasana. Okay. Let me demonstrate this part. So you start in your warrior 1, going towards your warrior 3. I'm going to bring the right hand into the block. And I'm going to start turning my torso towards the back wall. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hand back down. Coming back into your warrior 1. This is a pose that requires a lot of practice, and it's good to practice this against the wall sometimes, either with your back against the wall or to the front. Let me show you here. Because the goal is for me to open my chest all the way to the sky. Not an easy pose. All right, but let's go back into your warrior 1. Arms up. And now you want to bring the hands behind your back. You're going to clasp your fingers together and straighten up your arms, opening up the chest. If this is not available, you can also hug your opposite elbows or use a strap. How do you feel? You feel comfortable like that? Or is it kind of hard? You want a strap?
I think it feels normal.
Huh?
I think it feels normal.
Okay. So we're going to straighten up your front leg. And again, you try to have heel-to-heel alignment and hips looking forward. If this is not possible, you can wider your stand a little bit so you have a little bit more balance. Inhale, straighten out the arms behind you. Open the chest, look up. On your next exhale, start hinging from the hips forward, lifting the arms far from your back. Hinge forward. Then you take the chest, keep your front leg straight. If you can, in your exhale, bring the chest towards the knee. If not, we can stay there. Inhale and exhale. Lift the arms away from the body. And on the next inhale, lift the chest up and come back slowly. Bring your right, release the hands. Bring your right foot to meet the left into Tadasana. Okay, so this is Pasvakonasana. I want to show it here with the different modifications for the arms. If you can clasp your fingers behind you like this, you can also just hold into your opposite wrist or elbows, or you can use a strap behind you, opening up the shoulders. See how their shoulders roll back? That's what you want to have here, an open chest. Inhale, open up, exhale, arc forward, 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 releasing the head towards the leg. Come back up. There's 3 asanas. You can stay in them for 2-3 breaths to start with, and you can go up to 10 breaths or whatever that makes you feel comfortable. Thank you. This was Virabhadrasana I, Virabhadrasana III, Parivrtta, Ardha Chandrasana, and Parsvottanasana. In this series of standing poses, we're going to do poses that are done with the hips open. We are going to do Virabhadrasana II, Warrior II, Ardha Chandrasana, Half Moon. We're going to do Utthita Trikonasana, Extended Triangle Pose. And we are going to also do Utthita Pasvakonasana. We are going to finish with Prasarita Padottanasana, which is extended leg pose. So we're going to start in the middle of the mat. Bring your hands in front of you, in front of your chest, fingers not touching, feet together. And we're going to, on your next inhale, bend the knees and either take a step to the right and the left or take a big jump, opening the arms and the legs. Inhale, exhale out. Turn your left foot towards the front of your mat. And in this standing poses, the leg, because the hip is open, the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. On the poses that we did before, in the asanas that we did in the other series, the foot is turned into the front corner of the mat. Can you turn your back foot into the front corner of the mat? That makes the hip comes forward. Bring your hands down to the hip. You see the difference? Now, turn the back foot into parallel to the back of the mat. That opens the hips. And here, instead of having heel to heel alignment, we have heel to arch alignment. Inhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. Bring the arms up and open the arms out. Now, turn your head to look into the fingers of the left hand and start bending your right knee into a 90-degree angle. Sorry, left knee. Left knee. There you go. Be careful to not let the tailbone come out, rotating the hips out. Bring the hips in. The knee should be in between, going into the same line between the big toe and the second toe. Relax the shoulders back. Energy through the fingers. Palms on the same line of the shoulders. Now, a common error here that you see a lot in Virabhadrasana II is people going forward. Bring your torso forward, forward, forward. Nope, not forward this way, forward towards your hand. A lot of people do that because they have the visual effect that they're going fatter, but they are not doing it with the torso. Come back to center. You should be square, hips and shoulders, shoulders on top of the hips. Now, if you bend your knee a little bit more, then he goes forward, but the whole torso goes forward and the hips go forward. That's what you want to do. For the next pose, keep going, reaching out with your left arm until you can't no more. Then start reaching, reaching, reaching. Then bring the left arm on top of your left leg. Bring your right hand into your hip. Before we start doing the full pose, what we want here is for the torso to rotate out. You want the heart to show up to the sky. So start rotating your torso. There you go. Now here in Pasvakonasana, Utthita Pasvakonasana, we're going to extend the arm, bring the arm towards the side. Imagine you have the seam of your shirt, you're following that, up to your ear, extending the arm over your head. There you go. Bring it closer to the ear if possible, and rotate the torso back to the sky. You look up. Utthita Pasvakonasana. Come back, reaching with the right arm to the sky into your warrior two. A second option is to bring the hand all the way down. Reach out, bring the hand down, either to the floor or to a block. I want you to see here what happens when he brings the hand all the way down to the floor. Then it's way harder to rotate the torso. And this ribs, the bottom ribs, they start collapsing. So we're gonna put a block right here. And see how the bottom ribs are now stretched. Bring the arm all the way here to the front of the mat. Rotate your torso towards the sky and you look up. Inhaling and exhaling. Reach the right arm up. Come back up, pulling the right arm up to the sky. Bring the torso back up. Now straighten up your left leg. This pose is going to be with both legs straight. You once again are going to start reaching out with your left arm, your left hand until you can't no more. And you're going to start hinging from the hips. Two legs are straight. Bring the arm, the hand down into a block or to the mat. Straighten up your left leg. There you go. Now bring the arm to be wrist on top of your shoulder. Energy through the fingers. Open the chest. Rotate the torso towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. Relax the face. Now bring the arm over your head. That is the Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Inhale and exhale. Look up. Turn your head up. There you go. Come back up into your warrior two. Now we're going to bring the hands down into the hip. Take a little step forward with your back leg, your right leg. A little step forward. There you go. Now, here you can either try to do it with the blocks or without. We're going to try to do it with the blocks first. We're going to take a block with your left hand. And what we're going to do is we're going to start taking bringing the block down to the floor. Bring the block down to the floor. Put it outside your foot. Outside your foot. There you go. Now, take a step forward with your back foot. And take one step forward with your left hand. The one that you have the block with. So your hand, your wrist is under your shoulder. Start rotating the torso up. And then your next inhale, start straightening up the front leg and lifting the back leg. There you go. Now, let's do it against the wall, Brandon. So you have another option here is to practice against the wall so you can kind of like bring your back to the wall. There you go. Come back a little bit so there you go. Bring your right arm up for your palm to be on top of your shoulder. And this is our Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Press the heel to the straight legs. Bring your right hand into the hip. Bend your left knee. And bring the leg down, the right leg down into Virabhadrasana II. Warrior II. There you go. Okay. Bring your hands down to your hips. And bring the right foot to meet the left. Take a step forward. There you go. Okay, so let me demonstrate this. So we start under Chandrasana and Warrior II. We're gonna go forward, bring the back hand down. And you can put this hand just on the side. One step forward, lift the back leg. And then we're gonna start opening up the chest to the sky. You may just stay there for a second or two, doesn't matter. What matters is that you practice. Now the other option is to bring the hand to a block, and that makes it a little bit easier. Hand behind the shoulder, and then again, try not to dump your weight into the block when you're using props, because this is just gonna collapse the ribs on the left side, on the side that is under. So what you wanna do is kind of like bring your fingertips, open the chest, open the arm, your cup, and twist the heart towards the sky. To come back, bring the back foot down, go into your Warrior II, bring your hands down, take a step forward. And all of these poses, you know, it's important to do both sizes. So now we're gonna go into our last pose. Come on into the mat, Brandon. This is Prasarita, Padottanasana. And we're gonna bring the feet together, hands in front of you, in front of the chest, fingers not touching. Inhale. Exhale, jump or walk your feet wide. Okay, now turn the feet, the big toe in a little bit, like kind of a pigeon toe. There you go. Bring the hands behind your hips. And bring them with the fingers facing down, right here. On your next inhale, lift the chest up. And then exhale, hinge from the hips forward. Imagine that you have like a little string here and you're bringing the heart forward before you bring it down. Bring the hands down to the mat. Inhale, lift the torso. Exhale, bring the torso towards the legs or the back. Now bring the hands, if possible, to the same line of your feet. And bring the elbows back. Bend the elbows towards the back. and bring the head down. Inhale and exhale. Straighten out your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Flex the neck. On your next inhale, bring the hands behind you into your hips. Walk your hips. Come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. You can take a big jump or bring the feet together. Heel toe your feet together. It's up to you. Tadasana. Okay. So we're going to do it one more time. Looking that way so I can show some of the often done mistakes of this pose. So maybe move this to the right a little bit so you have a little bit of room. Okay, so hands in front of you, feet together. On your next exhale, jump or walk your feet apart. Turn the toe, the big toes in. Bring the hands behind your back into the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from the hips. And this is, bring the hands down to the mat. And this is what starts happening. The hips are going back. So what we want is to bring them, equally distribute the weight in your feet so the weight is not all the way on the back, on the heel. So the hips are squared with your ankles. They're on the same line. Bring the elbows back. There you go. Straighten out the legs. Walk your hands forward. Inhale, lift the chest halfway. The back. There you go. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands behind into your hips. And slowly come up to standing. Toe heel your feet together or take a big jump into Tadasana. Okay, walk this way. So yeah, this is a super fun pose to do where the back of the legs are really stretched. And that is what we need to just look for so that the hips don't go back. They stay here. It may start feeling like you're gonna like fall forward, but you won't. Bring the hands down. And if it's available for you, you can bring the head down. This is a preparation for tripod headstand. Eventually you can bring the head down and start lifting your heels and your legs into headstand. So this is the series with the open hips, standing poses. And again, you can practice these poses from 2 to 5 breaths at the beginning of your practice. And then you can start practicing staying in the poses for up to 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. But 2 minutes is a good, 1 to 2 minutes is a good practice there per pose. And just remember, engage your Bandha all the time. Always look into your feet. Remember all the cues from your feet up, the position of the feet, the position of the hips, the shoulders, the arms, and the head. I hope you enjoyed this series of standing poses and that you practice them so when you go to your flow classes and you're going from pose to pose, you actually know how to do them with the right alignment. Thank you and have a great, great practice. All my love and all the light for you.